Hey guys, so this is going to be a video for DayTripper. I had several people curious about how things worked and how to use metadata responsibly and in a situation like this where there's a lot of it. Um, Summarizing the story, you're working with a travel agent and you're trying to figure out what's going to be your cheapest option, whether to buy a travel pass that you get all your train rides for one cost, or whether the individual tickets along the way will be a cheaper solution for you. So they're using British pounds and pence, which they've they've modified a little bit, but they told it treat it kind of like our money over here, dollars and cents, where 100 pence is a pound, and vice versa. So just understand that it's money, but it's expressed in 3 digits with no decimals. The travel card costs 35 pounds, so that's going to be our measuring stick to see if we are more or less expensive along the way. Got you two examples down here. This is Traveler 1. So notice they're in town for 5 days, and each day this is explaining how many trips they're going to take, and each trip is their cost. So this is £5 or $5. This is £2.50 or $2.50. So we're going to use the same modification. And we add all these numbers up, and then we compare it to 35 pounds and see if that's above or below. So this traveler, buy the travel card. They're going to save £6 45 cents. This one, traveler, they're only in town 3 days, and they make a lot fewer trips. So the single-use ticket is their best option. And then again, we give their savings. Okay. So yeah, that's how we're going to get started. So as we haven't done a lot of these, I'm going to go ahead and walk you through it. So this is my project folder. So inside NetBeans, this is my CS1 folder, and right here is my text file. This is where all your files are going to go that you read from in Java, okay? Not in source, not in any of the other folders, but right here in the project. If I go over to NetBeans, okay, I've got my new import. I've got my exception handler, and this is my new version of the scanner, okay? So new scanner, new file, and then tripper.txt. That is the name of my file that we just looked at in the folder. All right, and if I want to actually look at it and see what's going on, this one, I think this is just a copy of person one, but that's okay. So we've got metadata, actual data on each line. There's two different options when it comes to dealing with metadata. You use it or you skip it, okay? And I'm going to try to show both methods on this, but I'm also going to show you both ways of how you can use the information if you wish to, all right? So we can see right here, it is our first bit of data. So I'll show you the first one, which is the most common, which is just ignoring the data. Read.next line. All right. So what this does is this just grabs the whole line, and notice it's not saved anywhere. It's not equal to anything. It basically just skips it because that line has no other information we need. Then I make my reading loop. I'll read next line. Okay. Now, this case, we're going to use the data. Okay. So I'm going to do the same kind of thing. All right, so this is going to grab that first integer on the next line. So the 6 in this case. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that be my tester to read through the remainder of it, of the line. Sorry. So while trips is greater than 0. Okay. Oh, I also need a sum. All right, so Okay, so we got our first metadata. This is my accumulator, which is going to be my cost at the end of everything. This is my loop to read through everything. How many trips this day? Grabs cost, adds to accumulator, trip taken. All right, so as we keep going, that's going to subtract a trip every time. It's going to grab a cost and so forth. So this part right here is an example of using the metadata, while this up here is how to skip it, okay? Now we keep going. All right, so we've got all our information. When we get done with the file, we can just go ahead and stop. So read.close. All right, so now I need to judge it. Now 35 pounds in decimal-less, I guess, value, where we're looking at the total pence, is 3,500. Okay, so that's going to be our check value. So if sum is greater than 3,500, we're going to do one thing, and then else we'll do that. Now, if it is greater, then we know we want to buy the travel pass. Buy. And then this one, by individual tickets. Okay, so if we look at the output, so it's all caps. We want to tell them to buy a travel card, not travel pass. Okay, well, I'm going to steal that. And then, okay, and then we go sum minus 3,500. Okay, so yeah, that's good. All right, so sum minus 3,500, absolute value. That's going to get rid of any negative, but it's going to keep our math consistent. So now I just need to print out the difference. And the phrasing again, expected savings looks like this. I'm just going to steal it before I grab some values. Okay, so equals change divided by 100. That'll just drop and truncate our decimals. Hey guys, so the video feed just kind of cut out some reason. I'm going to try to summarize because it didn't alert me until after I uploaded what I had. So let me walk you through what finished up that code. So we were talking about pounds. So by dividing by 100 as an integer math, I truncate anything under the last two digits, which would be my pence. Conversely, if I mod by 100, I get rid of everything above the first two digits. So just like when we had the rounding question a few weeks ago, that is where we get those two values. The output right here just uses simple concatenation to plug those values in. This way I'm only doing the math once, and regardless of which way it goes out, I am fine with the calculations. So this is the primary way that we coded to use the metadata inside the file after skipping the big metadata at the very top. But there is an alternative. Some people don't like doing all this extra work inside, and that's perfectly understandable. So I went ahead and I coded a second version. Now the bottom is exactly identical. We did not change anything. I just changed the big loop up here. So notice that there is no inner loop whatsoever. I kept a lot of the same code, functionally it's still doing the same thing. I just took a loop out and put an if test. Now, if we look at our file, which I apparently have already closed, apologies, get it back. All right. If I look at my file, I can see that all my costs are in 3 digits. Okay. I can see all my metadata is in single digits. Okay. Now, at no point in a job will they likely allow you to change the raw data. You may not be the only one that has to use that data. So the file is going to be remaining consistent. But you can look in the file and maybe pull some information or patterns or such. And that's what I've done here. So since I know the costs are all in 3 decimals and the metadatas are all in 1, I just said, okay, well, if the value is not even greater than 99, skip it entirely. Yeah, it's just a simpler, different way of using the code to the same thing. So this will skip all the metadata, both above and in each individual line, only add the values that are the costs, because they're 3 digits or more, and then still prints out the same values here. Apologies for the stark change in it. Again, I didn't expect the video to corrupt halfway through. But I hope this helps. Have a good weekend.